Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Zulfa Firdausa Rasyidah and I'm from chemistry class A. Number 3, bagaimana sejarah penaklukan Spanyol, bagaimana kemajuan peradaban Islam di Spanyol, jelaskan sebab-sebab kejatuhan kekuasaan Islam di Spanyol. Okay. The history of the Muslim conquest of Spain. The Muslim conquest of Spain began as 711 CE. Berber and Arab forces, led by Tariq ibn Ziyad, crossed the Strait of Gibraltar and defeated the Christian kingdom that ruled most of the Liberian Peninsula at the time. The Muslim conquest of Spain was swift due to internal division within the Visigoth kingdom and the support of some local population. Al-Andalus experienced significant advancement in science, art, architecture, and relative religious tolerance. Its downfall resulted from internal divisions among the Islamic kingdoms, pressure from northern Christian kingdoms, socio-economic factors, and ultimately the Spanish Inquisition. Okay, next number 4. Setujukah Anda jika ada sejarawan atau orang yang mengatakan bahwa Islam itu imperialis atau penjajah, terutama dalam menyebarkan kekuasaannya? Jelaskan argumen Anda, mengapa Anda setuju dan mengapa Anda tidak setuju. Okay. Whether Islam is inherently imperialistic, especially in the spirit of power, is a complex question with varying perspectives. There's no single answer that satisfies everyone. Arguments for imperialistic view often point to historical instances of Muslim imperials expanding their territories through military conquest. The early Islamic conquest of the 7th and 8th centuries, encompassing vast swaths of land from the Middle East, North Africa, and parts of Europe, are frequently stated as evidence. The imposition of Islamic rule, including the implementation of jizya and other policies, is also highlighted as a form of subjugation. Furthermore, some scholars agree that the inherent structure of Islamic law, particularly regarding government and the rule of the caliph, facilitate imperial expansion. However, it's crucial to note that not all interpretations of Islamic texts support this view. Argument against the imperialistic view emphasize the diverse way Islam spread. While military conquest played a role, peacekeeping conferences and trade networks were equally significant factors in the expansion of Islam. Many individuals and communities embraced Islam voluntarily through to the messages of monotheism, social justice, and spiritual fulfillment. The flourishing of Islamic culture and scholarship in various regions, including Al-Andalus, showcase a more nuanced picture than simple imperial domination. Moreover, some scholars argue that the concept of empire in the Islamic context differs from the Western notion of imperials, emphasizing the decentralized nature of early Islamic rule and the significant autonomy enjoyed by many regions under Muslim governments. In conclusion, characterizing Islam as inherently imperialistic is an oversimplification. The historical record shows a complex interplay of military conquest, peaceful conversion, and cultural exchange in the spirit of Islam. Attributing imperialism solely to the religion ignores the multiple political, social, and economic factors that shape its expansion. While historical events undoubtedly involve structural expansion, it's crucial to avoid generalization and consider a diverse experience and perspective within the vast history of Islam. Okay, next number 5. Turki Utsman adalah salah satu dari 3 kerajaan besar yang tersisa pada masa Khalifahan Islam. Mengapa Kemal Atatürk mengubah sistem kerajaan Turki Utsmani menjadi negara Republik Turki? Apa itu konsep westernisasi yang diajukan oleh Kemal Atatürk? Setujukah Anda dengan pola westernisasi yang dilakukan oleh Kemal Atatürk? Mengapa Anda setuju atau tidak setuju? Oke. Okay? Kemal Atatürk transformed the Ottoman Empire monarchy into the Republic of Turkey due to several key factors. 1. The collapse of the Ottoman Empire. The devastating defeat in the World War I and the collapse of the First Ottoman Empire created a power vacuum and instability. Atatürk, as the leader of the Turkish nationalist movement, saw the need to rebuild a new Turkish identity and sovereignty, independent of the outdated and ineffective legacy of the empire. Atatürk's concept, the Westernization, more accurately termed modernization, wasn't simply a blind imitation of Western culture. It aimed to adopt the positive aspects of Western political, economic, and social systems designed to contribute to progress and modernization, such as the secular legal system, modern education, and industrialization. However, he also sought to preserve Turkish cultural values and identity. For example, he replaced the Arabic alphabet with the Latin alphabet to facilitate access to modern education and international communication. Do I agree with Atatürk's Westernization? The answer is complex. On one hand, the transformation he implemented were highly successful in modernizing Turkey and building a strong and stable nation state. Turkey under Atatürk experienced rapid progress in various fields. On the other hand, this process also generated controversy and criticism. Some of his policies, such as suppression of Islamic culture and traditions, are considered suspicious and dismissive of a significant part of Turkish cultural heritage. The abolition of the Caliph also sparked controversy in the Muslim world. In conclusion, Atatürk's Westernization was a complex and impactful process with both positive and negative consequences. While successful in modernized Turkey, its long-term social and cultural impacts are still debated today. There is no simple answer as whether its policies was right or wrong, as the historical context and their broad impact must be considered. Okay, the next question, number 6. Jelaskan beberapa teori yang menjelaskan tentang masuknya Islam di Indonesia. Jelaskan pula strategi para wali songo dalam mendakwakan Islam di Indonesia. There is no single theory that fully explains the arrival of Islam in Indonesia. The process was gradual and complex, involving multiple factors and pathways. Several prominent theories include 1. Third theory. This is the most dominant theory. Muslim trades from various regions, such as Gujarat in Arabia, Persia, and China, played a crucial role. Their arrival established maritime trade routes in Nusantara archipelago, bringing Islamic teaching and interacting with the local population. This interaction gradually spreading Islamic teaching. Archaeological and historical evidence support the theory, showing extensive trade network and the Nusantara before and during the spread of Islam. 2. Marriage theory. Marriage between Muslim trades and local people also significantly contributed. Children from this union embraced Islam and spread it to subsequent generation. This was a more personal and organic process, strengthening the introduction of Islam into society. 3. Political theory. The conversion of local rulers and elites often led to widespread adoption of the religion within their kingdom. Sufi theory. The role of Sufi was also important. With their mystical and tolerant approach, they were more easily accepted by the local population. They integrated into society, teaching Islamic teaching gradually and without correction. The Wali Songo Dakwah strategies. 1. Syncretism. The Wali Songo combined Islamic teaching with local traditional and belief. This facilitated the acceptance of Islam by community because it was not perceived for very threatening. For example, the use of wayang kulit, the convey Islam message, the story of the but teaching. 2. Cultural approach. The United Japanese art and culture such as gamelan, wayang, and teman to the convey Islamic teaching. This made Islamic teaching easier to understand and accept by the Japanese community. They used media that was already familiar and well liked by the people. 3. Education. The Wali Songo established a person-trained Islamic and center of religious education and community. This educator not only taught religion but also science and skill, building a social and intellectual foundation for the development of Islam in Java. The instilled Islamic value gradually through education. Role of local figures. The Wali Songo built good relationship with local leaders and community figures, utilizing their influence to facilitate the spread of Islam. They collaborate with the existing social structure. Tolerance and patience. The Wali Songo were known for their tolerant and patient approach. They did for not belief and allowed for difference. This created a conducive atmosphere for the acceptance of Islam. They built trust and mutual respect. Okay, next question. Bagaimana pengaruh imperialisme Barat terhadap peradaban Islam? Jelaskan upaya Barat dalam menghapus jejak-jejak peradaban Islam di mata dunia. Okay, the impact of Western imperialism of Islamic civilization. Political and economic colonization. The colonization by European powers resulted in the loss of political and economic independence for Islamic states. Natural resources were exploited, traditional economic systems were disrupted, and political power fell into the hands of colonizers. This weakened Islamic civilization's ability to develop independently. Cultural and intellectual influence. The West imposed its values and culture, often generally Islamic culture. Educational systems were altered, local language and literature with satellite, and attempts were made to replace cultural identity with Western honors. This created identity crisis among Muslim communities. Distortion of history and narrative. The West often presents history in a biased manner. It claims its own achievement while downplaying or ignoring the contributions of Islamic civilization. The construct narrative often obscures the crucial role of Islam in the history of science, philosophy, art, and technology. New colonialism. Even though colonization has ended, Western influence persists through mechanisms of neocolonialism. They include economic dominance, political influence, and control over media and information. This hinders the development of an independent and autonomous Islamic civilization. Attempts to erase the traces of Islamic civilization in the eyes of the world have been carried out through various means. Control of historical narrative. As mentioned earlier, the West often controls the historical narrative, presenting biased and not objective history. The significant contributions of Islamic civilization in various fields are often ignored or downplayed. Domination of media and information. Western mass media has a powerful influence in shaping global perception. They often provide negative and stereotypical image of Islam, ignore the diversity and complexity of Islamic civilization. Basic education. Education system in many countries, including Western countries, often fail to provide an accurate and comprehensive picture of Islamic civilization. This leads to misconception and superficial understanding of Islamic civilization. Western orientation as a standard. The Western often perceives in cultural and value as a universal standard, measuring other civilizations against the standard. The result in Islamic civilization being undervalued and considered inferior. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.